ride with the hands for too long, you need them. But your goal, like allowing to go forward, and even within the collection, is to position and lightly let go, as if you were on Elsa, you know? Singing the song.
Yeah, let it go.
Good. Good. Again, that's weak. You need more. Yeah, that's okay. Right positioning. I would fix the lead because she's understands what you're after now. Before she wasn't. A little bigger. Don't do so much in your hand. Engine. Engine. More. That's half-hearted. There. Now positioning. Haunches out. Half halt in the outside. If the head twists out, lift the inside. Light hands. Energy. Energy. Yeah, good. And that was a little bit of a lengthening versus energy, yeah?
Right.
Position again. There. It's that subtlety. Good. Light hands. Light hands. Energy. Good. And let's trot and walk and give her a big tap. Really good there. Huh? And walk. Well done.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Getting
Getting her, like, I don't even, she doesn't look stiff to me there.
Yeah.
Like, because I think of stiffness a little bit in the jaw, the head and neck, stuff like that. We're not asking for hard, we're asking for subtle bends, but it's more to like kind of tweak her spine and get her aligned, right? In what she's doing. And then all of a sudden you have to play in that teeter-totter of energy versus collection, right? And when she gets weak sometimes, she goes back being a little passive in the gait. So, and you've got to be able to recognize that and kind of, even if it's not perfect, put more gas in the tank. And then, yeah, exactly. And I think that was a key part there of give her energy, not a lengthening.
Well, when I went, I softened at the same time, and so it just went. So it's
Yeah.
like softening, but being able to catch it.
Well, and it's almost, you've got to simultaneously, as you soften, support with more legs, because the time before that, you soften and she fell behind you.
Yeah.
Which again just tells you she's not doing it on her own, right? She's a little bit cantering against the hand, which is fine. With that kind of horse, you then got to start to encourage before you soften. And then as you're softening, if they take that to a lengthening, then there's the hand again to give it a little balance. And then you're trying to give back again. And it's just that, again, teeter-totter of how much help they need, but you're always working after being able to kind of give off with both hands.
Well, and doing it in the trot, I think I felt more of a difference than in the canter. Like the canter, it felt like I was managing a lot, but in the trot, I actually felt her shoulder come up a couple times.
Yeah.
Just a couple times. Like it wasn't huge, but I could really feel it there.
But some watching, I guess, and I think some horses do this, I think she kind of uses the crookedness to make you focus on that and not physically demand more out of her, just simply out of her gait.
Yeah.
Trot or canter, right? She lets you, she kind of baits you into fiddling at her versus let's work first, right? And keep the RPMs up a little bit what she does, and then find exercises that we can straighten her up within that.
Well, and she felt straighter then. Like
Oh, she definitely was.
Quite a lot straighter.
Definitely was.
So it's just kind of the idea of a canter pirouette. If you're bringing the shoulders around the haunch.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
more
I mean,
or less.
but obviously, instead of, that arc in the hind leg, it's a 10-meter arc, right? And a lot of times it's like, feel like you do 180 and then canter back to the circle, right? And then, but so much of it is, right, there's two things when a horse gets crooked and puts their haunches in. You can either try and move their haunches out, or you can try and move their shoulders inside of them, right? And it's a little bit of both. And putting them out, you're also trying to help just free this up and mobilize. And when they actually start to bring the shoulder around, it's the same concept, right? They're loading behind, and the front end's coming lighter this way to accomplish that. And sometimes instead of just trying to, oh, her haunches are in, I'm going to push them out, you kind of trick them into being straighter by doing it two different ways. Yeah?
Well,
Straight to the left.
Let's see what happens to the left.
But again, in watching, like as you come out, I think watching you wanted, like I had you do, get off her back a little bit.
Yeah.
Straighter, bigger, simpler. She gets you kind of doing stuff before she's going yet, yeah? So just trot fairly straight. She's just doing a novice 20-meter circle. So not trying to correct anything, just kind of what she naturally wants to do. Good, and then canter when you're ready. Okay. And just trot, canter again. Just careful this happens, yeah? You kind of want to bunch up against her and prepare for canter, look around the turn of the circle, and just expect that it's going to be a good transition. And a little engine, engine. Softer, bigger step. Bigger step, inside spur, softer inside hand. Bigger. Good. And when you're ready, back to trot. And do the little bit of haunches out in the trot. Half halt in the right rein, so it's not a quickening exercise. If anything, it's a little collection. And you feel how swingy this is.
Yeah.
She's respectful, but if you could say haunches out has a scale of 1 to 5, I want to see a 2 and no more than a 2.
And what are we at?
That's maybe a 2-ish, 1.5. Good, that's enough. What I'm after is, when I see you asking, I see you responding, but it's this because of the tightness.
Okay.
So try and ask for less, but be consistent. Okay. Yeah? And now, if you feel like that's maybe a 2, now ask for 3. A little half halt in the right hand as you do it. Good. A skosh more.
Forward or more?
To the outside with the haunches, which is a half halt as well, yeah? Good. And can you keep the butt there, but lightly straighten the neck and lighten the hand? And again, you're still able to manage. It's not soft all the time. Balance. Half halt, that's downhill. Light hand. Lighter, right? And it's always a great. Better. Light hand. Good. Now again, can you bring her head straight with the haunches staying about at a 3 where they're at? Which starts to involve your left leg as well, not only to stay out, but to kind of help with the shoulders. And sometimes it's just lifting the left hand to ask for a little flexion to the left while riding the haunches out. Good. All the while trying to lighten the fingers so that there's still connection, but it's almost like you've attached a rubber band, right? There's just that little flexibility in how hard you're holding the rein. Again, feel like this needs a little energy. Good. Again, can you lift the left hand? Can you see a little bit of the left eyelashes? Again, sometimes you have to lower the outside hand to kind of catch the shoulder. Inside hand can come even higher. Good. But now it's more of a little straighter in her head and neck, just her flexion, just her pull and jaw. So there's no bend. The head's still straight out of the shoulders. You feel the haunches are in. Let's fix that first. Lighter hand. A little energy, even a thought of a medium trot. Break the concentration a little bit. And as you gather her up from that, moving the haunches to a 2. Behind, not much more. That you can place them, but it's not a huge ask on her part. Good. A little half halt. Half halt. Good, light hand. That's what we're after, that moment where she comes up and you meet that in a lighter hand. Now again, I like the hind end, but I still want that head neck straight and just lifting the inside hand. So we're just loosening her jaw. We're not trying to bend her neck. And you feel her dive in, and again, there, light finger. There's your horse, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, this is just a game. I would want her to work here, right, for probably another 5 minutes. And that's so consistent, and I want that to be by medium for maybe 2 steps. So you add a little gas before there's a problem, and then you can balance in it. But just like I was saying in the scale of the haunches in, change your trot, but only by like 1 number, right? Go up just a little bit, back to working. Collect a little bit, back to working. But this is a little lazy and into the hand, right? Good. And think of the haunches out as your move to collect this horse. As she comes back, you're able to keep left flexion. Yes, right? Like in the hand. Very good. That's where she has to work. Yeah, well done. Give her a little pat. Let's just walk a sec. Quick break.
I feel like we have it for like 5 strides, you know?
She's there, and I don't think it's hard to get, but it's a little bit of a comment of a lot of horses you saw.
Yeah.
Their lack of true fundamentals and really coming through, and all of that becomes a bit of a muscling. All that becomes a bit of a muscling thing. I mean, like, there's like not much here. No wonder she's such a sport.
Yeah.
And that's not going to change overnight.
Right.
She's got good movement. She can get there, and she's not pissy. Like some mares are
Right, they'd be
not like
fighting
that
it.
work.
Yeah, yeah.
Like they will object and fight you on it, and then eventually they get in and they're good. I think she's just struggling with the communication a little bit, and then because I see her receptive to doing it and straightening up, so I don't think it's gonna take a long time. But then exactly right, you can get it and do it correctly and kind of give and put a bit of it on her. It's about 4 or 5 strides, sure, and then it either falls apart or you've got to do a
Refresh it.
pretty decent correction,
Yeah.
not just a subtle one. But that'll become 10 strides
Yeah.
2 weeks from now, I would guess. Right? And then 2 months from now, maybe it's 4 minutes. You know, whatever the scale is. But I think that alignment, like again, watching from the ground, and I don't know what that work feels like in your hand. But the subtlety of keeping it straight and just flexing her, keeping the alignment, keeping the engine. Because when you can get her body here, it looks like there's like 5-10 pounds less in the hand.
Yeah,
And get her in that space first and strong enough to hold it before you think to do any of this.
Okay.
And then there's going to probably be a lot of that, right, to kind of strengthen it up. But really know what you want. You want this, that where she feels bigger, where she lifts up first, because that's going to make the front end so much easier to deal with, right?
Well, and I think that's what, you know how you're saying she fishtails a little bit? Like you put your leg on and she runs away from it.
Yeah.
She doesn't hold herself there. I think that's what's happening with the piece that she keeps slipping out because she is reacting to the leg and kind of loses it. Like there's no degree of being able to hold. If we go, you know, outside the, and then, you know, like she's reactive to your leg.
Yeah.
Great. But it's like I can't cement it there. Maybe cement's the wrong word, but I can't keep it all in the same shape.
Yeah, and I think of it this way too, is that I think there's, like we just said, I think mares are quite good because when they get stuff, they're really dominant about it, you know what I mean? And they're really solid about it. And I think what she strikes me as is, like, her demeanor in general, is she's trying to please too much in that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you want this? Oh, you want this? Oh, you want that? Right? Like, she's like ready to go. And maybe, I don't know, Libby, like if she rides that way, some people keep horses on pins and needles. And I think she needs to kind of, you know, you've got a couple months here, right?
Right, exactly.
What's going on. So, you know, kind of build that communication a little bit and really make sure you ride her simply. We're just doing haunches out. And because we're doing haunches out, I know I have to keep a little left flexion. Those two things. And then, of course, there's that little somewhat of a balance between, but not trying to add more to it. Get her comfortable with that. Same thing in just simple canter parts, like maybe not going after moving her around as much as we did in the beginning, right? This is just getting to know her where she's swapping all the time. I think she's just got to figure out the willingness to do that.
Yeah.
Right? But then use that to your advantage where she just really gets good and solid at it. You can kind of do 10 reps of one thing, go and do 5 of the other, come back and do 5 of what you started on, where it's just very.
Well, it's interesting because my take, what Kyle and Jen were saying, like Libby has had her for a while, but they never really got along.
Right.
And like Libby was a little bit scared of her, like popped off on the one side. I think more sweet or something. Kyle was like didn't really ride her. She just kind of sat up there. So maybe that's kind of what we're feeling is, like I do feel like I kind of sit up there. I'm not around her, like we're not together yet. Obviously, I'm not really. But I don't think she's scary horse. Libby's other horse, I guess, is a handful, so I don't know why.
Well,
It's
sometimes
never.
it's
Yeah,
right?
maybe.
Like you carry over, it's like one relationship to the next,
Right.
right? You have baggage and you bring it on to the other person when it's totally not their fault or
Right.
anything they've done. It's just you and we ride a certain way, right? I mean, we produce. Some people make horses hot, some make them lazy. You know, we have some back.
Well, it's